we go. Perfect. I'll write a chat. All right. Okay, everyone ready if I admit everyone? Good to go?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, here we go. Takes a little while for everyone to get situated. Okay, welcome everyone to the Think and Drink session. Bill, I think we're ready to go. I'll hand it over to you.
Okay, so I'm going to just kick. My name is Bill Cope, and I want to welcome everybody to this this session, which we call a Think and Drink session, in the sense that it's a very informal session. It's 12 noon here. I'm in the US. I'm in Urbana-Champaign. I work at the University of Illinois, and I've been involved with Common Ground for a long time. So it's 12 noon, and I don't think I'll be drinking for a while yet. Anything other than coffee, and I don't even have one of those at the moment. So anyhow, it's great to have everybody at the conference. Welcome. In a moment, I'm going to hand over to our conference host, Andreas Motel Kinkerbiel, and I'm going to get him to talk a little bit about the conference. But let me just give a little bit of background first. This conference has been running for a few years now, and it deals with, what we do at Common Ground is we deal with issues which cut across multiple disciplines, and aging is obviously one of these issues where there are many, many perspectives that you can take. Since COVID, we've been running these conferences purely in a virtual basis. Hopefully by next year, we're going to get back to being in person, but also beyond this year, we're going to be focusing on a model that we call blended, so that people who can't travel can attend, and people who are attending, we're going to ask them to submit digital media so we have a record of what they're doing. So this is COVID's forced this upon us, and of course COVID's affected this issue of aging in some quite peculiar ways as well, as many social issues do intersect with aging in ways which are quite particular and quite different. So let me just say a little bit about the format of the conference. The material is all, the presentation material is all in this digital format. And one little request that we have is, please, when you attend a virtual session, when you go to a session, which are obviously mostly asynchronous, that what you should do is please leave a comment, because one of the advantages of this is that you can go to any session you want to. There's no schedule conflicts, but also, rather than just one person putting up their hand at the end and one or two people asking a question, you can all comment. So we're actually asking you all to comment. Everywhere you go, leave a comment. And by the way, that triggers an email to the presenter to come back and look at those comments. So hopefully there can be some good interaction as a result of that. So that's just a little bit of introduction. Elizabeth and Kinsey, how many people at this conference? So we have a sense of the scale of it. What are the latest numbers of the people who are presenting and attending? Just the total.
Yep. For total amount, it's about 68 people, and for digital media, as of like an hour ago, it was about 87 pieces of digital media.
Great. So there are 87 sessions for you all to go to. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to hand over to Andreas, and then in an informal kind of way after that, we're going to go around and ask each of you if you'd like to talk a little bit about the work that you do. So but first I'll hand over to Andreas, and thank you very much for agreeing to be our host of this conference. You're located at, I hope I can pronounce this correctly, Linköping University, Linköping University. You'll have to pronounce it for me, Andreas. So anyhow, over to you.
Yeah, thanks a lot. I had the same problems with Linköping when I came here, because I'm not a Swede, and I had to learn this also when I took over this chair, that they always pronounce it like this, which I would never do, which I would never have done before. So yeah, my name is Andreas Mutter-Klingenbiel. I'm a professor in aging research at Linköping University in the wonderful city of Norrköping in Sweden. And yeah, thanks for letting me join this research network and the conference. And basically, I'm entirely sick of online conferences only, because I love to meet people to talk. And of course, you can talk and chit chat on the side in a meeting and have some exchange in between. And that's what I'm mostly missing. I hope that we can meet next year on site in 2022. And well, we would be able to travel to the US and to Canada in November if we are vaccinated this year, but that's too late, of course, and probably not possible for everybody. But nevertheless, I'm happy to welcome you to this conference as well, and also to the special focus that we have on aging societies, extended working life, and discrimination against older workers. That's also what we do research on at the moment, and I know that we have 3 really exciting keynotes on this topic, or on topics within this framework, and I look forward to hearing this presentations. I think we have, as aging and working life researchers, we have to generate kind of added value by theoretical advances, by methodological innovation and impact on this topic, and these 3 colleagues, I think, are at the forefront of this, and doing exactly this at the moment. Maybe I can take the opportunity also to advertise our new master's program, which is not by accident but by intention, called Aging and Social Change. There's a new master program where you can study aging and social change now in Sweden, and it starts next year. So we are advertising at the moment, and so I take the liberty to simply do this here as well. So if you know students, if you have students that really want to focus on the issue of aging and social change in a global perspective, just let us know, let them know that there is a program for them. And if you want to learn more, just ask me. Yeah, thanks a lot. And I hope to meet you all in the sessions and doing the keynotes tomorrow, and maybe also next year.
Yes, everybody, please do attend the keynotes, which are the plenary sessions, which are live. They will also be recorded if it's an uncomfortable time zone or you can't be there at that time. But please try and attend in person, because there's plenty of opportunity for discussion in those live sessions. So now what I'd like to do now is go around the room and go around the group, and I'm going to ask you, would you just like to introduce yourself and say a little bit about what brings you to the conference? Oh, thanks. Elizabeth just put the schedule in the chat. And as we go to each of you, Elizabeth, if you're presenting, she'll pull up a link to your session. So I'm going to go around and just, I'm sorry, kind of name people. I know I'm going to be calling you out a little bit, and if your audio is not working and you're not able to speak, just wave or say something in the chat. So the first person, oh, by the way, before I do that, I really want to thank Elizabeth and Kinsey, who are both here, who do an incredible amount of work to pull this together, getting all the digital media working properly online, answering 101 questions from people. So they've done an incredible job to get to this point. So my first person who I have here when I go across my Zoom tiles is Sonia. Hi, Sonia, how are you?
I'm in mute. Hello, everyone. I'm so excited meeting you all, and of course, joining the conference. So I'm Sonia Pasco. I'm a PhD scholar of Drexel University. I'm taking up my doctoral degree on information science. I'm also an assistant professor of the University of the Philippines. I've been involved with National Institute of Health Knowledge Translational Science, and that's actually my current research, building the national translational science of the Philippines. That's all. Thank you.
Which campus of Drexel are you at? Whereabouts are you?
I'm at Drexel University. I'm taking my doctoral degree.
Which campus though? There are a number of different
Oh, the
Drexel
main
campuses.
campus, the university campus.
Okay, and where's that? Remind me.
We are relocated at the Market Street, 3675. So it's a College of Computing and Informatics.
But I mean, which city? I'm just trying to get other people.
Oh, the Philadelphia, sorry.
Oh, okay. And
Philadelphia.
your country is
Pennsylvania.
United States, right?
Wonderful,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, welcome, Sonia, and thanks for putting that link in the chat, Elizabeth or Kinsey. And the next one I have going across my tiles is Awasam. I hope I've pronounced that name correctly.
Hi, hello everyone. Good evening from here. I am here in Sweden. I think in this, I only know here Andreas quite a lot, and for different reasons though. I'm a doctoral student at the Örebro University in Sweden here at the Department of Political Science, and I'm doing research on aging in extreme poverty. And being a Bangladeshi, I'm focusing on Bangladeshi people who are living in extreme poor context there. And here in this conference, I'm presenting a paper that is based on the experiences of interviewing older persons living in extreme poverty. That would be more on the methodological challenges. And I have also attended the same conference in Vienna last year, I mean, the year before, and that really gives me a good impression about the conference, and I'm following the conference updates and the network updates always. So that also motivated me to join this year again. And I'm really looking forward to learn from people and from the colleagues. And also I have been shortlisted for this Emerging Scholar Award. And I'm looking forward to contribute from that stand. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thanks and welcome. And then the next person across my Zoom tiles is Margaret Oldfield from Canada.
Hi, I'm looking forward to meeting more people in live sessions. As Andreas said, getting tired of virtual conferences and missing real live people, but I've presented at several this year that were actually almost like real conference sessions with involvement of presenters and attendees in real time, which was very exciting. So the discussion board might be able to do some of that. I'm excited to see that coming. I've got one presentation on one of the projects that I'm working on. It's an ongoing critical ethnography of collaborative care in nursing homes, also called long-term care homes or aged care in Australia, care homes in the UK and parts of Europe. We're talking about North America, specifically Canada and the United States. And we're looking at how collaborative care happens among particular stakeholders, among staff, among family members and staff and residents, and among the residents themselves. That's my contribution. We have three presenters, Laurie Schindel-Martin and Charlotte Lee of Ryerson University in Toronto, Canada, where I'm located. And I'm an independent scholar with a doctorate in rehabilitation science. I take a look at living with dementia through the eyes of critical disability studies. And through that lens, I also have another stream of research, which is changing workplaces to enable people with chronic illnesses to stay at work. And this also incorporates older workers, because many chronic illnesses happen as acquired disabilities as we age, particularly in middle age and onwards. So I could have contributed something to that stream. I'm involved with the Disability Confidence and Finance Project, which is a cross Canada initiative to build a toolkit for the financial industry to help them hire and retain people with disabilities. And my area is specifically about chronic illnesses and including ageism. So I'm bringing that to lens to that project as well. So maybe in the future I can write something about that issue. And I guess my presentation is up with Elizabeth in the chat. Thank you very much. Looking forward to reading presentations.
Thanks, Elizabeth. And as I say, everybody, we're putting them there because go and attend these sessions in this asynchronous virtual kind of way. So the next one I have across my Zoom tiles is Liam. Hi, Liam. How are you?
Hi. Yeah, so my name's Liam Foster, based at the University of Sheffield in the Department of Sociological Studies in England. Sorry about my voice. My throat is got a chest infection, but my voice is gradually coming back. So hopefully by tomorrow, when I do my presentation live, it will be much better. Anyway, so I'm going to be doing one of the keynote sessions about active aging, extending working lives, and pensions policy, and looking at how that affects women's retirement in the UK in particular. I've done lots of work in the past around pension inequalities, in particular theories of aging, active aging. I'm currently involved in a project on extending working lives that Andreas is involved in. And I do quite a bit of work around pension planning and ideas around pension planning. And I've also in the past written about things like soccer and death and funeral provision, and so various different topic areas I'm interested in and happy to chat to people about. But yeah, looking forward to hearing different presentations at the conference and meeting new people. So yes, thank you for having me.
Wonderful. And as I say, folks, please come to the session live. Live is a great experience, as Margaret was just saying. But if you can't, there will be a recording of it, but live for preference if you possibly can. Okay, my next tile is Sarah. Hi, Sarah, how are you?
Hello. Can you see me and hear me clearly?
Both of those we can.
Perfect. Yeah. Thank you so much. And it's lovely to see you and meet many of you. Hopefully we'll see more in the coming 2 days. So I'm Sarah. I am a PhD student at the University of Cambridge here in the UK. I'm currently there in Cambridge, and I'm in my last year of research. I work on aging and social well-being and its influence on prolonged life and utilization of health and social care services within the UK context. I am also an emerging scholar, and I'm very happy to be a returning emerging scholar, since I was very lucky to participate as one in the 2019 conference in Vienna. And this is where I met Andreas and many other scholars. And it was a brilliant experience having to moderate sessions and also present findings. And I'm really looking forward to this digital version of it. And I'm very excited about all this work that's been put to create this platform and all this engagement that hopefully will happen online and be as fruitful as an in-person conference. At least we can hope. That's very exciting. And in this year, I'm also presenting actually a piece of work that I've been trying to finish, and that took a lot of my PhD work. Actually, it's a presentation on a systematic review of reviews on the role of social well-being or different social factors that influence utilization of services in older age. And this piece of work has been really very interesting to do, and to be able to synthesize evidence on associations, potential gaps, and future directions from high-level evidence about that relationship between social health and service utilization in older age. So I look forward to discussing this further with people here and with other people who will join the conference. And please, if you need any help or you have any questions, do address me directly through the platform or via email. I'm also very excited about the topic of older workers and extended working lives. And this is actually the kind of like a project for a postdoc that I'm trying to write and submit to potential grants, and to see what I can do as an early career researcher in that field. So I'm looking at this conference as an opportunity to learn more about the existing knowledge and literature about that topic, and to see how I can contribute in the future. Thank you.
Wonderful and great to see people coming back. Welcome back, and hopefully next year we'll be back in person as well as in this format as well. Okay, and our next person working way around my Zoom tiles is Kitty. How are you, Kitty?
I'm fine, thank you. Sorry, my camera doesn't work. I'm Kitty Malherbe from the University of Western Cape in Cape Town, South Africa. So it actually is cocktail time where I am. And I teach social security law, and my research focus is older person social security rights. And my doctorate was on intergenerational solidarity and the provision of care and support to older persons. And I'm really looking forward to engaging with everyone in the network. As South Africans remain on just about every country's red list and we can't travel, I am for one very grateful for this format, because otherwise I wouldn't have been able to attend. And I'll be presenting on the realization of older women's social security rights in South Africa. Thank you.
Very good. And I think one of the things we've discovered also is that people have a lot of reasons why they can't travel. So hopefully, you know, this format was forced on us by the COVID situation, but hopefully there'll be a legacy where we can be, you know, this blended model is one where we can make the network and the conferences accessible to more people. So let me mention a couple of things that are connected. One is that, okay, this is the kind of the conference part of things, but we also have the journal and a book series as well, which you folks have access to. Maybe I'll, if you want to grab the link to the bookstore page, Kinsey or Elizabeth, and throw that in as well. That has quite a big archive now of historical articles which you have access to. So in other words, firstly, it's the network that's produced this. So we have a model where people peer review each other's work. And so it's really the community that validates this, the work in the peer review process, with an emphasis very much on constructive feedback. It's not just writing a critical paragraph, it's criterion based, and we give you a copy of the file so you can actually help the other person in a constructive kind of way. That's really very much appreciated as well. So after the conference, please put a paper in if you've got one that you're ready to present. Just looking at the page, there are actually 283 things that you have access to. So part of being part of the network is you have access to all of this, 6 books, and a whole lot of journal articles along the way. And actually, you might see that we've changed the name of the journal to really this. I think this might have been your influence, Andreas, to Aging and Social Change. So the older issue volumes have had was called Aging and Society, but now it's changed in these ways. But the basic content is the same. But look, another plea that I'm going to make is please use that material and please cite it. So one of the important things around scholarly validation is that people have, you know, citation is a mark that people have found your work helpful. All our articles have digital object identifiers with them, which means that they are registered with Crossref, which is the kind of meta database, if you like, of peer-reviewed scholarly articles. So, but please do cite them with the DOI if you can. That's part of a citation convention now to include the DOI in the citation. The other thing I was going to say was that I think you, Sarah, mentioned this business of, you know, talking with each other. It's, you know, one place to do it obviously is in the discussions that go with each session. But if you want to contact another person privately, the way to do that, the logic behind Scholar is the same kind of logic as LinkedIn. So you need to go to their profile page and ask to be a peer. So what we can't give out people's email addresses, but if they agree to be your peer, you've got a direct messaging service, which actually triggers an email to them, to be quite frank. where they can come back into the messaging service and reply to you. So do consider making other people peers, and then you can communicate directly with them as well. And then the final thing I was going to say is that next year the conference is in Poland. So we're really hoping this COVID stuff, I don't think it's ever going to go away at the rate things are going, but we're hoping that it's become manageable enough to be able to travel next year. So yes, for some people who can't travel, we've got the blended format, but for those who can, we hope we'll be able to see you in person. So any questions, comments? I see, Daniel, you've just joined us. Welcome. Good to see you there from the Philippines. But any questions or comments or? All right, I might, Andreas, perhaps hand back to you for the last word. You're our host and our kind of intellectual leader in this area. You might have to unmute, Andreas.
Oops, I saw that Margaret raised her hand.
Oh, I was just wondering.
Oh,
yeah, thank you.
Oh, yeah, sorry, Margaret, go on.
Follow us first.
Thank you, Andreas and Bill. I was wondering if we could hear from Kitty and Daniel about their presentations and research. And maybe Elizabeth and Kinsey, if they're interested.
Yes, so Kitty and Daniel, I think you might have come in a bit later, if I'm not wrong. Maybe Daniel, would you like to say, and then we'll come to Kitty. Would you like to say, oh, Kitty has put her link, Kitty's link's in there. But Daniel, would you like to say a little bit about the work that you do? Maybe we can't connect with Daniel, not to worry. Kitty, would you like to say a little bit about the work that you do?
I forgot, I think we already heard from Kitty.
Yes, you already heard from me.
We did. Yeah, we did. You're right. So Daniel was the new person. Yeah. Sorry, we can't seem to get through to him. So anyhow, look, by the way, this session is recorded for what it's worth. Is there anything you want to go back over? There's a recording of it. We're now in this regime where we record everything. It seems to be the way of the world, but it's got some, you know, as Andreas says, we wish we could be in person again, but there are some advantages as well. So, and one of them is the fact that you can go back to recordings. Now, by the way, let me just mention as well is that the conference will stay online. Oh, there's Daniel. I'll come to you in a second. The conference will stay online, open for comments for a few weeks, but it will be online for you to access the presentations for forever with your login. Daniel, you were going to say something.
So,
yes, over to you.
hi, yeah. So, hi everyone. Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you well.
All right. So, yeah, I'm joining from the Philippines. Yeah, we're doing. We will actually with Miss Sonia Pascua from Drexel University. We're currently working on knowledge translational science, particularly on gerontology. And we would like to derive from this exploration, from the research and experience in the aging and older adults, and how can we use this and process as well as integrate into public policies and programs. My collaborator is working in the National Institute of Health, Ms. Pascua, and so we are pioneering knowledge translational science in the Philippines. And of course, we would like to look at the barriers and facilitators that influence evidence-based gerontology. These barriers are considered translational blocks or impediments to the translation of basic research into improvement of aging health and science, particularly in the Philippines. And of course, with the study that we're doing, we would like to provide policy recommendations so that our older adults with social, stimulating, meaningful, and enjoyable activities through various technologies, because both of us have backgrounds in computer science and engineering. And so we can enhance levels of connectedness and overall quality of life. Thank you, and I'm glad to meet you all, the scholars of this conference.
Thank you, Daniel, and welcome. Elizabeth's put the link in there, and please go to the session, folks, and leave some feedback and comments for Daniel as well. All right then, folks, anything else, any other questions or comments? Andreas, would you like to say, sort of help us round off a bit? You're on mute, Andreas.
It's too late. Sorry, too many meetings and to push this button too often. Sorry. Sorry, I forget this now. I look forward to all the sessions, to all the presentations. And for me, this advantage of this conference specifically is that we can have in this type of conference a global but also quite a collaborative perspective. So we have the chance, at least, not to dive back into anonymity. Yeah, okay, being anonymous afterwards. But have the chance to identify ourselves and also to stay in contact about these topics. And I think it's a big advantage. And in the future, we will of course not be just back to the old normal. I hope we can have it hybrid, and I hope that you can support us in this from the perspective of common ground, because that's more inclusive, of course. It's more possible and for people that do not have the means, be it time or simply funding, to travel, also to participate in this, and that's a big advantage that I learned about in this 1.5 years of the pandemic. And if this format and if Common Ground can help us and can support us to stay hybrid and to stay open by this while we are going back to, on the other hand, physical meetings, I think that would be great, and then we can further develop this collaboration. And yes, in this sense, yeah, I look forward to attending tomorrow's and Friday's presentations and keynotes, and let's see how this goes.
And folks, please try to attend synchronously, and if you can't, yeah, there'll be the recordings as well. Yes, I think that's right. This COVID thing has been both a curse, but and something where we can move forward out of it as well and do new things. In the case of Common Ground, it really prompted us to build this whole virtual platform, which we built from the ground up, I might say. So it's a new thing for us. So, all right, folks. Well, look, thank you everybody for being here. Thank you, Andreas, particularly for being the host here, and also thank you to Elizabeth and Kinsey for all the incredible work you do to keep the show on the road and keep things moving. So have a wonderful conference. Be there at the plenary sessions, enjoy those sessions, and we have a session near the end where we come together and talk informally as well. So, okay, bye everybody. See you then. Thanks very much.
Bye.
Bye.